Hi students, we are back with our video lesson 3 for Word Chapter 5, and this is covering the database mail merge. And in this lesson we are actually going to be creating a data source. A data source is a file that creates the data and changes from one merged document to the next. And we are going to be creating records or entries in our data source that goes back to our data file. So if we go back into our folder, if you do not have your Health Club form letter, your name open, you want to open that file. And then you will also need to have open the Computer Concepts assignment sheet for Word Chapter 5 from the e-class. So if you did not download this to your iPad, you want to make sure that this is downloaded, and you may as well go ahead and download the instructions too for the Word Chapter 5 assignment sheet. In the Word Chapter 5 assignment sheet, you will be using this information here that is our data source. Now remember, in the first lesson I showed you the data source, and in the data source we have field names that go across the top. These are all field names, and then we create entries, or what's called a record. A record is a series of information that goes or belongs to one thing. And in this case we have 5 records. Okay, we have Bethany, Juanita, Donnell, Mylan, and Benjamin. Okay, all parts of these records. So we're going to be creating this data source. Now remember, in lesson 1 I showed you what the icon looked like in the file folder for some other data sources. That is generated by an Access database program. Microsoft's database program is called Access, and it's a very powerful program. So if you think of Access as like a huge filing cabinet, okay, and in a filing cabinet you have drawers. So for instance, I might have a drawer for every class or course that I teach, and in each drawer I might have folders, and the folders would be those records, and those records would contain information maybe on students, so I might have a folder for each student, or it may contain information on each unit I teach, so depending on what that is. Now a file cabinet is very small. From a business standpoint, you need to think large, and my example before was the Publishers Clearinghouse giveaway. They actually have databases that are set up with a bunch of people's names, millions and millions, and their addresses, and they can print out documents that just are already customized and personalized to the individuals. So that's what we're trying to do, is create the data source today. We've already done with the first 2 lessons this part here, and now we're going to be working on creating the data source. So if you did not download this assignment sheet, it's a good idea to do that so that you have that for later on. Now to create the new data source, we are going to display the Mailings tab on our menus here, and you want Mailings, and we're going to click on the Select Recipients. We're going to kind of skip the wizard, and we're going to go into typing a new list. This is the easiest way to get your new address list open. When you click on Type a New List, we see a Recipients area that's displayed in the Type New List area, and we can actually customize this by creating our columns. So if we customize our columns, right now we have title, first name, last name, company name, address list, address to, city, state, zip, county, home, work, and email. And we don't need all that information for our database, so we're going to go ahead and customize columns. And we get this little dialog box that comes up with all these field names that were in here. So we're going to be a little bit more selective, and we're going to modify this. So we're going to click on company name in the field name list, and then click the delete button because we don't need that. So company name and delete, and then click yes. We are going to click the country or region and click delete, and then click yes. We're going to click the work phone number, click delete, yes. Email, delete, yes. And then we're going to add a field. So we want to add membership type. And then click OK. And you notice that membership type then shows up in our list of field names. Can you change the name of a field? Yes, you can change the name of a field by using this rename button. So instead of maybe address line 1, address line 2, I might have the address line and then P.O. Box. Can we add more fields to the list? Yes, we can. We did that when we added the membership name. So this is the list that we want to use. Make sure you have title, first name, last name, address line 1, 2, city, state, zip. And then we will not need home phone numbers, so delete that out. And then membership list. And then click OK. So now that changed our fields going across the top here. So we don't have all that other stuff, but we have membership in there. And that's going to customize our line. So in this new address list, we're going to type our entries. And if we go back to our assignment sheet, remember, these are the entries we want to have typed in here, okay? So we're going to add our entries, and our first entry is going to be Mr. So the title is Mr. Hit tab. Oops, let's click on there and try Mr. Hit tab. Mylan. Tab. Skyranka, Sciranka. Tab. 85 Windmill Lane. Hit tab. We're going to leave the second address line empty and hit tab again and type Dilton for the city, tab New Hampshire for the state, 03324 for the zip code, and the membership is going to be standard. Okay, so going back to our data source, here's our record. Mr. Mylan Sciranka, 85 Windmill Lane, Dilton, New Hampshire, standard. Click the new entry button. So here's our new entry button. We're going to click that. Our first record's already typed in there. Now we're ready to type the rest of the records. And what you'll need to do is bring up your assignment sheet on your iPad and type your entries generated in your assignment sheet. So our next one would be Mrs. Bethany. Let's see if we can bring these both up. Maybe not. Okay. So Mrs. Bethany. And then Ames, and we're tabbing 124 Center Court, tab, second address line, apartment 2E, tab, Harris, New Hampshire, 03891. She has a premium membership. So you're going to continue adding new entries until you have all these records on your assignment sheet added. Okay? Remember, we've already created Mylan, so skip over that one. We've got Bethany's now. You're going to add Juanita's, Mr. Donnell's, and Mr. Benjamin. So go ahead and finish up creating this. When you're done, click OK.